You're watching TAG TV. You're watching TAG TV.
Hello and welcome to Newsweek South Asia, a program that talks about breeding of terrorism and its impact on South Asian nations. Let's begin with the headlines first. Indian intelligence reports suggest 16 terror training camps active in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Taliban terrorists continues to disrupt peace in Afghanistan. ISIS boat heads towards Indian waters. Inner security forces put on high alert. Islamic State on a terror spree in South Asian countries. And bomb blast rips through a mosque in Balochistan province of Pakistan. Indian intelligence reports have recently suggested that 16 terror training camps are still active in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. After Balakot airstrike by Indian Air Force, Pakistan has thrown maximum weight to infiltrate terrorists across Indian border through POK. There are speculations of Pakistan resurrecting small terror outfits after most of Jaish-e-Mohammed training camps were decimated by Indian security forces, a report.
Since Indian security forces decimated Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist camps in Balakot area in Pakistan, the rattled terrorist groups active inside Pakistan-occupied Kashmir are throwing weights to infiltrate more terrorists across Indian borders. As per Indian intelligence, 16 terror training camps are still active inside POK, where terrorists are being readied for infiltration into the Kashmir Valley. The terrorist groups working at the behest of Pakistan Army and the ISI are being closely monitored by the Indian intelligence agencies to deal with any misadventure from Pakistan's side.
16 terrorist training camps have been located close to the line of control, and the IB and the government and the army says many more are likely to be also brought into being. The Indian army is absolutely, and the security forces are on the alert to checkmate all evil designs of Pakistan. All these terrorist training camps are on India's radars. We can eliminate them the day the government of India takes a decision to eliminate them.
Indian Army has been working on a war footing to eliminate the existing leadership of terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. The recent elimination of Zakir Musa, who was the head of Hizbul Mujahideen terror outfit post Burhan Wani, could be seen as his testimony to hyped efforts Indian Army has laid to its Operation All Out.
Pakistan has not undergone any change in its attitude whatsoever. The season for infiltration is already upon us. All snow has already melted. April onwards, major incursions start taking place in Indian territory. Pakistan is absolutely on the back foot because both across the line of control and IB, they've been contained within the valley. Particularly Jaish-e-Mohammed has been completely almost eliminated. Its leadership has been destroyed. They tried their very best to create a Burhan Wani scenario after Zakir Musa was eliminated, but they miserably failed in that.
Taken off guard by the Indian security forces, MIFT Pakistan has been on a lookout for a slightest possibility to push their foot soldiers across the LOC and infuse terrorism in Kashmir Valley. Recently, an IED was found along the Jammu-Poonch National Highway, prompting suspension of traffic on the route for about 1.5 hours. The alert Indian Army cordoned the area and destroyed the IED on the spot, averting a major tragedy.
ये जम्मू पुंछ हाईवे और यहाँ पे दिन में हज़ारों लोग जो है ट्रैवल करते हैं। कोई जम्मू से पुंछ जा रहा है, कोई पुंछ से जम्मू जा रहा है। और अगर आर्मी ने सही समय पर जो यहाँ पे आईडी को डिफ्यूज़ ना किया होता तो एक बहुत बड़ा हादसा हो सकता था और कई लोगों की जो है जान जा सकती थी। लेकिन आर्मी ने जो है सही सूझ समझ दिखाई और जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस ने भी उनका साथ दिया और उस आईडी को जो यहाँ पे डिफ्यूज़ किया गया। और हम काफ़ी जो है खुश हैं कि आर्मी ने कितने सारे लोगों की जो है निहत्ते लोगों की जान आज यहाँ पे बचाई है।
Post Balakot airstrikes, Pakistan has violated ceasefire for over 500 times and has suffered heavy casualties during the retaliatory action by Indian security forces. Although certain terror elements infiltrated by Pakistan were still active in the Kashmir Valley, Indian security forces have neutralized them in order to restore peace in the region.
Afghanistan suffered yet another wave of attacks by Taliban terrorists. Attacks on security forces in Kabul and Herat province left more than 24 soldiers dead and many injured. The religious communities in the country were also jolted with an attack on mosque in Kabul amid celebrations of Holy Ramadan in the country. We have a report.
The fragile security situation of Afghanistan has plummeted to an unprecedented low since Taliban terrorists launched the annual spring offensive. In the spate of attacks launched against the establishment and their ideological opponents, Taliban have killed scores of innocents in the last few days.
دلخراش بود. بعد از صدای دلخراش دیدیم که مردم ها در سرک افتیدگی بود.
در 300 بستر هم بسیار زخمی ها رو دیدم. تقریبا در حدود 30-35 نفر که خودم همونجا حساب کردم میرفتیم شهید زخمی آورده میرفتن همونجا.
While 18 security personnel were killed near a historic minaret in Herat province on Wednesday, only hours later followed another deadly attack on the military training center in Kabul that claimed 6 lives.
Now, the Taliban has started their spring offensive, and they had actually advertised that they would be starting the spring offensive. This is despite the fact that talks are going on between the United States, their special representative, who has been sent to talk with the Taliban. And the Taliban, I do not think, are going to actually bow down to the dictates of the Americans, and they are not going to bow down to pressure. The second point is that as far as Pakistan is concerned in this whole affair, they will continue to give their support to the Afghan Taliban.
It is not just that Taliban is targeting security installations, but those who speak against its ideology or dare perpetuate something against its radical interpretation of Islam are also hacked to death through a systematic plot. Religious scholars have remained soft targets for Taliban. They have killed over a dozen in showing a sense of fear in them. Recently, a prominent scholar, Samiullah Raihan, who is also a staunch supporter of the Kabul establishment, was killed after a blast ripped through the Al-Taqa mosque in capital.
حراس‌افکنان دشمنای مردم افغانستان مواد منفجره را جاسازی کرده بودند در منبر مسجد که متاسفانه در انفجار اون مواد منفجره مولای صاحب سمی‌الله ریحان یکی از علمای برجسته افغانستان شهید میشن، همراه با اونا یک فرد ملکی و 16 نمازگزار دیگه که این نماز ادای نماز جمعه می باشه مجروح میشه.
The series of attacks comes when the Muslim community around the world is celebrating the holy month of Ramadan. Although a ceasefire was offered by the Afghan government during the holy month, Taliban declined and in fact upped their attacks, hampering even the bleak possibility that surfaced in the wake of sustained peace talks amongst various stakeholders.
Moving on, after being wiped out from Iraq and Syria, a desperate self-styled Islamic State is trying to register its presence in South Asia. After taking responsibility of the deadly Sunday Easter bombings that killed more than 250 people, it has launched a terror offensive in different parts of South. While Pakistan and Afghanistan have been its permanent targets, it recently took responsibility of an attack in Bangladesh, marking its presence almost everywhere in the region. A report. In a bid to mark its presence in South Asia, Islamic State has recently claimed responsibility of a powerful blast in Bangladesh's capital city Dhaka. Explosion took place near a police van which injured a police officer and 2 civilians. The attack by the group seems a desperate attempt to establish their presence in South Asian countries after they lost territory in the Middle East.
Previously, when the ISIS carried out an attack in Bangladesh, the Bangladeshi authorities were ruthless in cracking down on the known ISIS cells that were there, and a lot of people from the ISIS died. But there is absolutely no doubt that the ISIS will also try its best to make inroads into Bangladesh.
Attack by ISIS in the capital city Dhaka came after the deadly cafeteria attack in July 2016 that took 29 lives and injured many. Following the cafeteria attack, Bangladeshi security forces launched a crackdown on Islamic State militants and killed more than 100 terrorists in the country.
Bangladesh's strategy vis-a-vis all kinds of religious terrorism, fundamentalism, has changed drastically. Ever since the army ceded power back to the civilian authorities again, they did so after taking out a lot of this terrorist and Islamist infrastructure. The current Bangladeshi government has also been very strict. They have understood that this particular terrorism problem comes from the mind. So you first have to tackle those people who spread this ideology. And in so doing, they executed one of the last remaining war criminals some time ago. They incurred the enmity of Turkey, one of the countries which has indirectly and directly encouraged the ISIS. They incurred the enmity of Pakistan, which of course we know is the hotbed of all kinds of religious terrorism.
This attack once again reinstates the threat of ISIS in the South Asian countries. After losing ground in Middle East, Islamic State seems to spread its tentacles to South Asia. As per recent inputs received by the Indian security agencies from intelligence services, a white boat containing 15 ISIS terrorists had set off from Sri Lanka to Lakshadweep Islands in Indian waters. Following the intelligence report, the coastal areas were put under a strict security blanket and Indian naval ships and coastal police were put on high alert to keep the group of islands under scrutiny. We have a report.
Islamic State terrorists, after losing ground in Middle East, seem desperate to spread their malicious tentacles to South Asian nations. Recently, an intelligence report received by the Indian security agencies claimed that a white boat carrying 15 ISIS affiliates has set off from Sri Lanka towards Lakshadweep and Minikoy Island in Indian waters.
The route could be direct route from Sri Lanka to Kerala, which is very unlikely because that is being monitored round the clock, 365 days, 24/7, particularly after the blast that took place in Sri Lanka. Secondly is from Sri Lanka to Tamil Nadu. Third is by the Minikoy and Lakshadweep Islands, which are also off the coast of Kerala. And out of the 36 islands, some islands are not inhabited. They want to possibly establish themselves in one of those uninhabited islands. They could also be carrying out attack against a fully populated island, which is also the capital of Minikoy, to create international tremors.
The Kerala coast has been under strict security blanket following the reports suggesting ISIS intrusion near Indian coastline. The islands are under round-the-clock surveillance by Indian naval ships and Coast Guard vessels to eliminate any possibility of terror attack.
ISIS is definitely keen to establish itself in India right from the days of Baghdadi. So far they have failed to make any headway whatsoever. This notwithstanding, after having achieved a certain amount of success in Sri Lanka, they are hell-bent to do something big and major as far as India is concerned, either off the coast of Kerala or Lakshadweep and Minikoy Island. And what one gathers is in a white boat, 15 ISIS people have moved towards the side. The Coast Guard has been fully deployed. SHOs all along the coastal areas have been put on alert, and similarly the Navy has deployed its surveillance aircraft as a surveillance vessels to look out for these. Under these circumstances, there is no possibility whatsoever of any success by ISIS anyway.
Islamic State has never been able to carry out any attacks on Indian soil, but their intentions could have emboldened after they perpetrated Easter Sunday attack in Sri Lanka that claimed over 250 lives in the island nation. The attacks in Sri Lanka had further strengthened the hypothesis that the territorial destruction of Islamic State has not diminished the reach of branded terrorist group. However, Indian territories could not be the ground for ISIS terrorism, as Indian security forces have earlier sent shields across ISIS allies operating from Pakistan.
Balochistan was recently jolted with a bomb explosion in a mosque located in its capital Quetta, killing 3 and leaving several injured. The bomb blast ripped through a pulpit inside the mosque where more than 100 people were present to offer prayers. The attack comes amid holy month of Ramadan on Muslim community that further emboldens the presence of terrorist outfit in Pakistan who have been perpetrating terrorist activities in the rest of Balochistan on the behest of Pakistan Army and ISI, a report. A bomb explosion in a mosque left 2 people dead and 20 injured in Quetta city of Pakistan's Balochistan province. At the time of blast, more than 100 people were praying in the mosque. The bomb attack comes amid the holy month of Ramadan. A cleric and children are among those killed in the deadly blast.
मैं उस टाइम वज़ू बना रहा था, आवाज़ सुन के मैं घर से बाहर आया तो अंदर गया, धमाका हुआ और सारा जख्मी और शहीद है, उनको उठा के लाए, अस्पताल पहुँचे।
अभी तक जो हमारी इतला हॉस्पिटल के ज़राए से है उसमें 20 लोग जो है ना वो मुख्तलिफ ज़ख्मी हैं, जो छोटे बड़े, जिनमें 6 शदीद ज़ख्मी हैं।
A number of deadly attacks have been reported in Balochistan province in recent months. Although these attacks often happen to target minority Shia community, but an attack on Sunni mosque is a rare sight. The instability in the province is only due to suppressive methods used by the Pakistani establishment.
अभी तक की हमारी जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन है या बिल्कुल इब्तदाई है, उसके मुताबिक कोई डिवाइस जो है वो मेंबर के नीचे रखी गई और उसका वज़न जो अंदाजे के मुताबिक उन्होंने बताया वो 2.5 किलो के करीब बताया है।
Pakistan has provided safe shelter for terrorists on its soil for decades, but now it is facing the consequences of it. It has used terrorism to disrupt peace in the neighboring countries like India and Afghanistan. But the terror outfits supported by Pakistan military and secret service agencies are now creating havoc on the same soil from which they used to operate. If Pakistan still doesn't take action on them despite international condemnation, then in future they may have to suffer from a situation they themselves don't know how to deal with. And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We will be back next week with more news, views and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at nwsa@anin.com. This is Surabhi Sharma signing off on the behalf of entire production team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.